Have you ever wondered why entirely different cultures seem to have similarities between them, even when they come from opposite sides of the world? Even when the places they call home are entirely different from each other. There are many examples of this, but I'm going to focus on one that we can all understand. Why is darkness, shadow, and night always a negative symbol in cultures across the world? Now, the simple answer is quite obvious. Humans, over the thousands of years we've been around, have not always enjoyed the luxury of being on top of the food chain. And so, when the sun set on our ancestors and the night came, sometimes it brought dangers. Part of that danger is we're not very good at seeing in the dark. You can trip, hurt ourselves, fall, and die. And other times, something in the dark is out to get us. It's something that all of our ancestors were made to live through. And that fear, they passed it down to us. But being scared of something doesn't explain it. At least not entirely. If it did, then the symbol of evil darkness and shadows would disappear as humans continue to master light, and the fear of the dark would fade into history. And so that obvious answer of fear, that's only the beginning. For all the differences between us, for all our different experiences and all the various cultures and homes, we live and experience all these things through the body and mind of a human. And though we may be different, the basic machine of a human is common to us all. Ideas like the human condition and the human experience should come to mind. Relevant to what I want to talk about today is that specifically our brains are similar. And there, like a machine, humans understand things in binary. And so when I mentioned that fear that all our ancestors went through and passed down to us, that dangerous darkness is opposed by the safety of the light of day. Light can only be understood in our minds because the opposite exists to define it. Just like in a computer, 0, darkness, and a 1, light. And while it is difficult to imagine how something so binary can amount to the subtleties and complexities of culture, it is still true. And just as we have made computers to do such complex tasks, so too can we. Yes, no, 0, 1, light, darkness. These are the foundations on which we can build on. Cultures, being made of human ideas, are created by a series of yes and no's, zeros and ones. And so that fear of the dark and the safety of the light represents a 0 and a 1, a yes and a no, that all of our ancestors were made to know. And this is why the conflict between darkness and light and all the ideas we attach to those things seems to happen again and again in cultures regardless of contact across the world. And so now, when you look around in your life, meet other people, meet other cultures, look for these human universals. Look for what lies on either end of a certain culture's binary. What have they attached to the light, and what have they attached to the darkness? I remember learning this for the first time. It was an eye-opening experience. It taught me that human cultures aren't just like random bunches of concepts and ideas that they pick up over the years. It's so important to know this, and it's why I was so shocked to learn it, is it changes your view of culture. You're not seeing it as a random bunch anymore. You're instead seeing it now as a system of ideas. If you've ever wondered why people from a culture seem to have the same sort of analysis for when they look at something, that's why. Because of that binary. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in next time so I can help teach you to avoid some of the dangers that come with this kind of thinking. Bye-bye.